Hello and welcome to part 2 on how to add data into your site. You should have completed part 1, which was creating a data entry site, and this will continue from that place. As before, this presentation and the material associated with it is available under Get Trained on the Globe website. So if you're not there already, select the Enter Data from the Globe homepage and then Enter Training Data. Select your school and the site that we created in part 1. As before, rather than go through this presentation, we'll go ahead and go onto the browser and do it for real. So if you remember from part 1, we've created a school, we've created a site, we called it My School Site. It was an Atmosphere site, and I can open it up and I can see all of the different protocols that I could do with this particular site. One of the easier ones is air temperature, so I'll go ahead and do that one. You see New Observation is here. I'll click on it. And most Globe protocol screens start with the date and time. We've added a get current UTC time, which will read your computer's time and fill in the UTC for you automatically. There's also a local time conversion if you want to know what that time is locally and compare it to solar noon. So you can be sure that you're doing your measurements at solar noon when that's appropriate. So here we are at the air temperature form. If I put in the current temperature, let's say I say it's 100 degrees out and I click Send Data. As we saw with the site creation process, there is also errors that are possible with the data entry portion. And in this case, the temperature was 100 degrees C, not Fahrenheit. And so it's telling me that the current temperature is out of range. So I can put this and make this a little more reasonable number. We'll say 20 degrees and send that data to Globe. And now I get the happy face, which tells me that that data was sent successfully to Globe. If I go back to the data entry home, and here's the school site that I was using, here's the air temperature form that I just used. If I click on past observations, I can see the observation that I just made is here. And if I made a mistake, I can always click on it, bring back the original form, and change the data if needed, and send it to Globe. I see the green happy face indicating the data was sent correctly. Again, I can open up my school name, open up the site, and I will have the past observation there. Now, one thing you'll notice is that especially as you start getting more sites, this list can get long, and it can be a little annoying to go down and open the name, open the site, find the particular protocol that you're using most often. So all of these protocols have a little star next to them, a bookmark. And if I click on it, it will automatically take this protocol for this site and put it right up here at the top. So when I come to this page, instead of having to open the school, open the site, find the protocol, all I need to do is click right here and it will automatically take me to the form that I want to use for that particular protocol. Sort of a shortcut. So that is really all you need to know about how to do data entry. If you want to do aerosols or clouds or any of the other protocols associated with atmosphere, click on New Observation and the appropriate form will appear. If this particular site you want to do more than just atmosphere protocols, again click Edit Site and add the additional spheres that are associated with the protocols that you'd like to do. So let's return to the presentation. These are screenshots of what we just walked through. You know that in order to enter data, you select the name of the protocol and New Observation. The form starts with the date and time. You can use the checkbox to input the current time in UTC. We tried entering 100 degrees and saw that there was an error, and then tried entering 20 degrees and saw the green happy face, which told us that the data had gone through correctly. We saw the happy face on this screen. We also talked about how to bookmark with the little star, and we also talked about how to edit your past observations by clicking on the Past Observations button. So it's now your turn to add a measurement. Find the site that you created in part 1, bookmark the air temperature 1-day form, and go ahead and try entering 100 degrees, save it, and then a more realistic number. After you submit the data, you can return to the edit page, change it, and save. And if the data is not actual measured data, you can also return to that edit page and delete the data once you've submitted it, because we don't want data in there that's just test data. Now, Globe also has mobile data entry apps. One is called the Globe Data Entry app. It supports all protocols, and it looks and acts just like the desktop forms. The second is called Globe Observer. Currently, it has clouds and mosquitoes, and will have land cover shortly. Globe Observer is intended to be very easy to use. Anybody can use it. You don't need to be a Globe trained teacher or a student. But if you are and you use your Globe account, or your students use their student accounts, any data you entered with Globe Observer will also be associated with your school. So there's two options for you depending on if you want to do clouds, mosquitoes, or land cover. And it's much easier to use in Globe Observer or the Globe Data Entry app, which supports all the protocols. In order to get information on both of these, you can go to the Globe Data Entry portion of the site, click on the link for mobile apps, and then you'll see a link to the Data Entry mobile app as well as Globe Observer. When you use the Data Entry app, all the forms are downloaded to your device, and all the data is stored on your device until you click Send Data to Globe. You can have more than one person on your device, so you can log in with a teacher account. Your students could also log in with their accounts, and you can switch between the accounts so they can enter data, you can enter data, all on the same device. Occasionally, you may need to use the Update Forms button, which you'll see on the interface. If you ever add a site using the desktop forms, that will allow the app to find the latest information about your sites or any changes that you've made. Here are some screenshots of what it looks like as you use the app. Initially, you'll be asked to log in, and there will be a time where it will download all of the forms associated with your school and the sites. You will come to a form that looks like the one on the right. You'll see the data entry button there in orange color. If you click on that, you'll be brought to forms that look very much like what you just saw. Here we have on the left the name of a school, Canyon Weather, which has multiple sites. And then once you click on the form on the right, you see the clouds one day. It should look very similar to what we saw on the desktop version of data entry. Once you've made your measurements, the measurements will be saved on your mobile device, and you'll see them as you do in the center screen. On the right, you can click on the measurement that you want to send to Globe and then click Send Measurements to Globe. This will actually send the data from your phone to the Globe system and then delete that data from your phone. The other option that you can use to put data into Globe that's associated with your school, as I mentioned before, is the Globe Observer app. You can log in with your Globe account, or your students can with their student accounts. On Globe Observer, you don't need to set up a site first. We do it automatically for you. As I mentioned, you can do clouds and mosquitoes, and in the very near future, land cover. Globe members also have the ability to add air temperature, barometric pressure, and humidity if desired. As before, here are some screenshots that show what Globe Observer looks like. You see the clouds and mosquito habitat mapper on the left. Once you click on a particular protocol, you can do a new cloud observation. And this is an example of what that screen looks like once you start doing cloud observations, where you can enter the percent coverage and the types of clouds that you see, along with images on the buttons that can help refresh your memory as to which cloud types are which. Likewise, on the mosquito habitat mapper, when you click on New Mosquito Habitat Observation, you'll be given photos that will help walk you through the process of identifying sources of the water, and if desired, going on to try to identify the specific genus of the mosquito larva that you're looking at. So with that, you now know everything that you need to know to get data into Globe. You can use the desktop forms, you can use the mobile data entry forms, or you can use Globe Observer. You should know the answers to these questions: how to change a measurement that you'd already submitted. Again, remember past observations. You should know that you can't enter phenology measurements with an atmosphere site. Remember, you have to choose the right type of site to be associated with the right protocols, and phenology measurements are not part of an atmosphere site. You should also know that you can delete a site, but remember you cannot delete a site if it already has measurements associated with it. You'd have to go back and delete all of the measurements before you can delete the site. Here are the answers, which are also in the package you can download from the website. And for your next steps, you should now know how to enter data, how to edit data, how to bookmark it to make it easier to do it. And you can continue on to part 3, which will discuss how to visualize and retrieve the data that you've put into the Globe visualization system. Any questions, as always, please contact the Globe Help Desk at help@globe.gov.